Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see, we are in the kitchen today. I have my hair up in a bun and I've got my Star Baker apron on, which can mean only one thing. That's right, we are baking today. So a couple of weeks ago I was on the internet and I saw that Cupcake Gemma and Crumbs Doilies were selling some New York style cookie kits that you could buy, and then it would send you all the ingredients you need and you could make the cookies at home. And since I love Crumbs and Doilies, I thought, why not give it a go? And I got myself 2 boxes. So I got the double chocolate chip cookies and I got the chocolate chip cookies. And I thought I would try making them with you guys today just to see what they're like and if they were worth the money I spent. I can't remember exactly how much they were. I think they were around £17, but I'll pop the prices in the description below, and if I remember I'll pop it onto the screen as well. So you get these beautiful little boxes, and inside you've got your recipe sheet and you've got a couple of sachets of ingredients. So I've got 3 sachets and the box with the baking parchment for your trays to bake the cookies on, which is actually really useful and I don't think many places think of that. And yeah, so let's get going and bake these cookies and see what they turn out like. Okie doke, so today I'm going to make the double chocolate chip New York cookies, and I've got the 2 eggs that the recipe needs and I've got some butter. Now the recipe does call for unsalted butter being best, but I've only got a tiny bit of unsalted and a little bit of salted, so I just thought, well, like, how much difference could it possibly make? So we're just gonna mix the 2. Full disclosure, I have worked as a pastry chef before, but we're just going to follow the recipe and see how these cookies turn out, and I'm going to try really hard not to mess with the recipe or go off on little tangents, which I tend to do when baking. So I've got 2 little mixing bowls, I've got spatulas, I've got a wooden spoon, and I'm all good to go. So let's get going. So according to the recipe, you can use a stand mixer or you can use a hand mixer, or if you haven't got either, which not a lot of people will have, you can just use a wooden spoon and a mixing bowl. So I've got my hand mixer here with me. I haven't got my stand mixer where I'm currently staying and self-isolating. So I'm going to get my hand mixer out and we are going to mix the sugar mix with the cold chopped butter. So I'm going to weigh out my butter and then I will mix it all together with my hand mixer. Okie doke, so I've got my cold chopped butter, and that's about the size that I've cut them up into. I ended up having around 54 grams of unsalted butter and the rest of it was salted. So I'm going to put that into the biggest mixing bowl that I currently have and put my little plate aside. The next thing that we need to do is get the sugar mixture out. So only thing with these is that they've just got letters on, and I mean, you can pretty much figure out which packet is what, but it's a little bit confusing. So this one says DC, that one's got an S on it, and the other one, actually, oh, no, it says DF. Not sure what the letters mean. I'm assuming S is for sugar, so we're gonna open this one and see. I'm hoping that that's the logic, but it's going to be a little bit confusing for some people. helpful would have been if I'd used some scissors to open this instead of whatever it is that I'm doing. So yes, sugar going in. And I'm not sure if you guys will be able to tell. That looks like it is caster sugar and brown sugar mixed together. So I'm going to get my hand mixer out and we are going to mix this together until they form large nuggets. Not sure what that means, but we're going to give it a go. So, and hand mixer wise, if you haven't got one, absolutely fine. Just use a wooden spoon like the recipe says, but I found this one that I had in the back of a cupboard and I only bought it for £9.99 from good old Aldi. So, ha, winning at life over here. So I have a feeling that as soon as I turn the mixer on, this is going to go everywhere. So I'm just using my mixer to smush the butter down a little bit so that it's going to be easier to actually mix it all together to get those big nuggets. So I'm just pressing it down and smushing the butter down a bit, and then I'm going to turn it slowly onto the lowest setting that it has. And there's sugar everywhere now, so I'm gonna grab a clean tea towel, put that over it, and hopefully we should get less sugar and butter flying everywhere. So just gonna pop that over there and hope for the best. Okay, take two. There's still sugar everywhere, but far less than there would have been. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the hand mixer and attempt to do it all with a wooden spoon, because I think that's gonna cause a lot less mess for me to clean up once I finish. So I'm gonna get rid of this and just pretend it didn't happen. Amazing. So we're just gonna mix the butter with the sugar until we get big nuggets. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that that is what large nuggets look like, because it specifically says that you don't want to cream the butter and the sugar together, so that's what we're going with. That looks like large nuggets to me. So the next thing that we need to do is add the chocolate chips to the sugar and butter mixture. Again, assuming that DC stands for dark chocolate. That sounds logical, so I'm gonna go ahead and open that up, and oh, it does indeed, and it's a mixture of dark and white chocolate. If you're wondering why I just myself on camera, it's because my boyfriend went round and scared me, and great. So we have dark chocolate and a white chocolate. So that's gone in, and I believe I need to now mix this together and just stir it to combine. So there we go, we're just gonna give that a little stir. So that's all combined, and the next thing that needs to go in is the flour mixture, which I'm assuming is the last little bag that is left. So let's do that. Oh! So we've got our flour our mixture. Now this does have cocoa powder mixed in with it. This looks like the blackest cocoa powder that I have ever seen. I might check the ingredients afterwards just to see if for some reason they have put in any like black charcoal. Okay, so it says that there is plain flour, black cocoa, which is 100% cocoa, 12% cocoa butter, sea salt, baking powder, and a bunch of other bicarbonate of sodas. I've never seen cocoa powder look this dark. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it, but that looks pretty much black to me, which is really odd. So we're gonna give it a mix together anyway, and we are looking for breadcrumb consistency. So gonna give it a mix together, and we are looking for a breadcrumb consistency. Oh, this is making such a mess. Mixing that together. I think I probably didn't mix my butter and sugar well enough, because I think a lot of the things that I thought were the large nuggets that I was looking for are actually, in fact, just lumps of butter that are just sat there. But we'll give it a mix, and hopefully this will break that up a little bit. Is this breadcrumbs yet? This looks pretty breadcrumby to me, I think. It just looks like flour with lumps in it. There's no moisture. How is it meant to look like breadcrumbs? Don't understand. Okay, so it kind of looks a bit like sand and not so much like breadcrumbs. But I keep mixing and nothing much is happening. We'll give it a little bit more of a mix, see what happens. Okay, so that's as much mixing as I'm willing to do, because I'm starting to get sweaty. So we are now going to crack in our eggs. We're going to crack them in a separate bowl, and then we're going to mix it with this, and then we are going to combine it to get a dough. I've got my trusty eggs here. Okie doke, so we are going to put in the eggs into our mixture. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got our eggs in the mixture, and we're just gonna mix them together to get a dough. It looks like a lot of mixture for the 2 little eggs that have gone in, but we will mix it and see what happens. Whew. So it's either going to be a really dry dough, or it's gonna all come together and I'm worrying for no reason. Okay, so I've mixed it as much as I possibly could. I'm out of breath from mixing it together. It's not exactly a dough. Oop. As you can see, it's just very, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to describe it. There, so we've got clumps, but it's not exactly a dough. But I think it's enough to hold its shape together so that we can form it into balls, which we need for the cookies. I've just made sure that I've got all of the dry ingredients from the bottom of the bowl so that we're not gonna make the cookies and then at the bottom it's just gonna be a bunch of flour and cocoa powder left to go. So our next step, according to this, is to portion the dough into 12 100-gram balls. You might get slightly more or fewer depending on the size of your eggs. Do not roll or smooth the balls too much. Only handle them for 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. Oh! It would have been really helpful had I read the recipe before we started, because apparently we need to place our cookie balls in a Tupperware container or a covered tray and freeze for 2 to 3 hours minimum, preferably overnight. I'll get them put into bowls and then see how long we can freeze them for. Now, I'm not going to put them in a Tupperware box because I know for a fact that the freezer does not have room for that. I'm just going to put one of the sheets of greaseproof that they've given us over a baking tray and pop that in the freezer so that it's all flat and separated out. So I'm going to set that up right now. Got my baking tray. Satisfyingly, the baking sheets fit perfectly on the baking trays. Wonderful. So my scales are clean, so I'm just going to weigh them out directly onto the scales. And I think 100 grams seems huge. Okay, so I'm just going to shape them into this, and that's 100 grams, and we're going to just go with 100 grams and see how they come out. Okie doke, so I've just put them all into 100 gram balls. I've ended up with 13 instead of 12, so I've got a baker's dozen, and they were really difficult to roll up, and I handled them a little bit more than I would have wanted to, but the mixture was really dry and I kind of had to just use my hands to bring it together into a bowl. And I'm just going to cover them in cling film and show you guys them. That's what they look like. I'm just going to cover the tray with cling film and whack it into the freezer and freeze them for a good few hours, and then I'll be right back. Hey guys, so it is the next day and I've baked the cookies and they look really good actually. So I went ahead and I baked the chocolate chip ones, the plain ones as well, and we have 2 left because the rest have been eaten or dished out to other people. So we haven't got that many cookies left actually. And so I thought I'd show you guys what they've ended up looking like and what they taste like and have a chat through if it's actually worth buying them. So we've got our double chocolate chip cookies and they are these ones. They've come out looking much darker than I expected them to, but again I think that is because the cocoa powder had some sort of darkening agent, because I've never seen cocoa powder that dark before. But they look a little bit like hockey pucks, but if you split them open, they are absolutely beautiful inside and they taste really good. So try some. They are absolutely delicious. and they've got a little bit of crunch on the outside, and the inside is the softest thing. I've never really had cookies that are crunchy on the outside but super soft on the inside, and it's so chocolatey, but it's not too sweet. So I absolutely love, love, love these. And I did have to bake them a little bit longer than the actual recipe said. So the recipe said bake them between 12 to 14 minutes. And I actually had these in the oven for 16 minutes. But I think all ovens are a little bit different, so that's probably why. So I'll show you guys what the normal chocolate chip ones look like. So that's what they look like, and then that is the inside. Again, these are super yummy as well. So good. The only issue that I have with these is that even though it's a normal chocolate chip cookie, I find it's way, way sweeter than the other ones. So I can only really have like half a cookie before it gets too sickly for me, or I'll need a cup of tea with it. Whereas the dark chocolate ones, those ones I will sit here and eat them all day, every day. And yeah, so that's what they ended up coming out like. I thought that the 100 grams per cookie was gonna be too much, but actually they're a decent size and they came out looking really good. I think it's, although they taste very good, I know that Crumbs and Doilies have all their recipes pretty much online anyway. So I think if you can get your hands on the ingredients that you need for them, then probably go down the route of just getting the ingredients and baking them yourselves, as opposed to paying the £17, whatever it was, for the kits. But if you can't and you've got the money going spare, then they are really good. I ended up getting, I think it was 13 or 14 cookies from each kit, whereas I think you're only meant to get about 12. So it just depends on how you kind of make it and the size of the eggs that you use. But I ended up getting 13 or 14, and we've already sent some to my boyfriend's parents' house, and I'm going to be taking some to my parents when I go and visit them. Keeping social distancing rules and everything, I'm just going to leave some for them and then just say hi and make sure everything's alright and they've got everything they need. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're worth getting the kits. Get them if you can, and if you can't find the ingredients, but I'm pretty sure that Crumbs and Doilies do have the recipes on YouTube, so I will link those down below, and I will also link the actual kits and see if they're still available, and I will link those down below for you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure that you give it a like, subscribe, and in the comments below let me know if you've tried any other Crumbs and Doilies recipes before and what you thought and what's your favourite, and if there's anything else you want to see me trying and making to see what it comes out like. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!